Similarly to Photoshop, Blender allows you to have multiple ways to do the shading. They have some function features, for example, color adjustment or light adjustment. Not only that, it also allows you to do other effects, for example, transparent or emission. So let's see what are advanced modes in Blender that you can adjust your shading. After that, let's see how can we really work in the node editor. First, I would like you to delete all first. I just press A and delete key. Then we are going to create all the nodes by ourselves. So I know that you can create it using the surface, but sometimes you have to do it manually. In order to create nodes within the node editor, we can do by several ways. The first way is when you press the T, which is the toolbox, and then you will see that besides the first one, there are multiple types of nodes that you can create from, like this. For example, if I would like to create just the normal diffuse texture, normal diffuse shading like we had before, the thing that you have to do is you can go to the, let me expand this, to the shader menu, and you can just click the diffuse is the diffuse BSDF. You just click on it and you will get the node on your cursor. You just click on that. That is the first way. But for me, I feel like the more comfortable way is to use the menu bar on the bottom because you have the space in order to work. So you can just click on the add menu and it will give you exactly the same groups of the nodes that you can use. And the normal shaders are in the shaders, and this one is the normal diffuse that we use. But I'm going to, if you have the diffuse like this, I have the diffuse and I set it like pink color, but you will not see the result because if you remember, you need another node which is the output one. So I just click add, and the output is in the output category, and the output for the material is material output. So after you click, you will get like this, and you can just simply drag the output from the diffuse BSDF node to the input, which is the surface of material output node, and it will have the result like this one. That is the simple way to create the diffuse color. How about other effects? If you would like other effects such as the specular, you can just do simply to the add, and most of the effects are in the shader. For the specular, it is the glossy BSDF. Just click on it. Then I would like to change the glossy to maybe bluish color like this. And you will not see the effects because we can have only one material output. The thing that you can do is just drag the line out from the output of glossy BSDF and connect it to the surface input of the material output, and you will get the glossy result. Not only the color, but you can adjust, for example, the roughness of it. It might take time to render to see the output. It is mean that you can try things and adjust it. But what if I would like to have multiple colors? If you would like to have multiple colors, you can add it using another type of node that called the mixture. The mixed shader is in the shader category also, and if you move up, you will see the mixed shader, like this one. And the purpose of the mixed shader is to mix two colors together. For example, if I would like to mix the glossy with the diffuse, what you can do is, to be easier, mixed shader is always in the middle, so you just drag the current node of mixed shader to hover on the line, and you will see that the line is highlighted using the yellow color, and you just drag it. you will see that it will expand for you automatically. And the good thing about it is all nodes will be connected correctly, like this one. Then because you have two, I would like one from diffuse, one from glossy, which is the specular. And then because you see two input slots in the mixed shader, right? Then you can just drag the output from the diffuse to the input of the shader. Then you mix the effect together. But this one may look a little bit confusing because the lines are crossed. You can switch it easily by just click on the input and it will switch it automatically for you. One thing that you should know about the mixed shader is it have one function called the fractions. The fraction represent using the gray node that we talked about it before. It's for the adjustment. But in this case, you can just drag it back and forth. It just means that if you have high numbers of the factor in this one, it will represent the input below more. For example, now I have the glossy effect with the blue color. If I have high number, I will represent more of the bottom effects. If I have low color, if I have low value, it will represent more on the diffuse on the top. That's why you can adjust around here. And if you would like to, you can add more effects. For example, I can do, beside to use menu below, you can do Shift A to add. Also, it's a short key. Shift A stands for add, similarly to the 3D viewport. And I would like to add one more color. For example, I would like to have, let's say, emission effects. Emission is when you emit. You would like your model to emit the light by itself. And because I would like to add more nodes, I would like to also add the mixed shader. So you do Shift A shader and mixed shader. And I would like to add it around the diffuse. Like this. I just drop it down and you will see that now it is in here. I would like to add emission here. And my emission I would like is to emit, let's say yellow, because it will be a different color. Yellow, I can set the strength of emission here. Let's do it a little bit low, like this. Not too low. Just the low emission. And then you will see that you can adjust the effects here to have more pink diffuse color. It's not too clear. It's too much yellow. And you can adjust around. But one thing that is quite tricky, which you have to use both of your experience and your imagination, is the order of mixing is quite important. For example, now I'm planning to mix the diffuse color with the emission first, which might give not that good result. So you can adjust it by switching on. Let me shift back to have like around 50%. You might not like this result, but you can switch it. It is mean that I remove it first and I would like to mix the glossy, which is specular, with the diffuse first. Switch it. And then I add the emission later. You will see that the effects might be not that much different for this example, but actually there are some difference. So what I would like to say is the order of the mixing is quite different in this case.